So I went on a little trip to see this cutie and tried to recreate some of his art, doing like the art prints and then also like a screen print on a t-shirt, and it turned out really cool. And then also a staple rug, and also did it in his style. Oh, and then like I did a couple of them. So yeah, also stay tuned for the end of the video because I'm doing another giveaway. Cool. Heading to Portland. We're gonna meet up with Bryce. I posted that video on Instagram of the leopard rug. I kept on getting comments being like, at Bryce Wong, at Bryce Wong. Like, you need to collab with him. So I reached out to him like, hey, let's collab. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Just so happens I'm like, oh, I'm going out to Portland. Let's link up. There's a car company called Avail that I can just go leave my car at the airport and people can rent my car. So I could potentially make money on my car while I'm gone, which is cool. And if anything, if no one rents it, it's a free ride to the airport and they detail the car. So I'm not gonna have to pay for a ride to the airport or parking and a detailed car for free. Sure, why not do it? So that's what we're gonna go do. We're gonna go drop the car off right now. So the airport's real close to my house. I just came to the Avail parking spot, parked my car. It's my first time doing this, so I just popped in, made sure I did everything right, and just in and out real quick. And yeah, then I took a shuttle to the airport. I can't leave with the camera, that's silly. Whenever I go to the airport, I always think of the word sonder, which is the profound feeling of realizing that everyone, including strangers passing in the street, has a life as complex as one's own, which they are constantly living despite one's personal lack of awareness of it. I remember feeling this at a young age, being like, the same way that I feel like I'm the star of my play here in life, so is everyone else. What about you? When did you first feel this? Anyways, I got to Portland, got on a shuttle to pick up my rental car from Avail.
So that's not gonna go anywhere. Charity's in there, she's got you.
Awesome.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Yep, have a good day.
You did the move of grabbing keys
Okay, killer. And with that all taken care of, I'm ready to start my little trip here in Portland. I love how green it is here. So many mountains, so many trees, all the greenies. So I pulled up to my Airbnb where there was some pigs and goats. Naturally, I had to go give them some pats. Give the sweeties some pats. And just walking on my way to my yogi retreat. This is cute as shit. It is cute as shit. And it's gonna be my little like ground base in between getting the collab working with Bryce. Okay. I meet up with Bryce at like 4. That's 8. So until then I'm just gonna until then I'm just gonna hang out in Portland and chill. But also look at this. If you think for 10 seconds, I'm not gonna take a bath. You know this. I love baths. I'll watch like 4 movies. Not 4, that's excessive. I'll watch like 2 movies in the bathtub. So yeah. So, okay, let's say like if there's 5 things in this life that I could be really passionate about, I think it would be food, travel, art, human connection, and baths. Yeah, it's fun enough. I think I'm gonna hit all those today. All right, that's it. That's the winning shot. No, so the fun thing about Bryce and I is how similar like all of our shits match up.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, I'm like talking to the camera, talking to you, talking to you, talking to you. When I talk to the camera, talking to the audience, talking to you, talking to the audience.
These are our friends.
These are our friends. Okay, my brain, a million different timelines. We were just talking about how you're, what? How do you say that better? Like you're the average of all the people you hang out with.
I think that's a pretty good way of saying it.
Like who you surround yourself with, you become.
Yeah.
And how rad YouTube is because you can surround yourself with literally anyone in the world. You get to choose your friends. We're your friends on YouTube. Anyways, back to what we were actually talking.
There's a lot of crossover.
The crossover world, that's what like, even when you're experimenting in the garage with like the concrete, I think that's where that like blew my mind the most. It's because I have pieces where I was like exploring the idea of like breaking something to reveal something.
Yep.
Or doing like the pull part to reveal something. And that's like one of the motifs that you
want to hear my theory on it?
Mm-hmm. I got shit.
We grew up right around the like Abercrombie and Fitch era.
Okay. Yep.
And that era was all about being the same.
Ooh.
And I mean, this is from my experience at least.
Right.
You grew up, you were told to do certain things certain ways because that's how you would fit in and not be different or called out. So like there was like very little room to express yourself the way you wanted to. So I feel like culturally, like when I would see things where a mask was taken off or you're looking inside,
Whoa.
it was more about like the messaging of like, oh, that's what you are on the inside.
Right.
I just remember like I had a kind of like an awakening in college of like, do what you feel is right and do what makes you feel good. And it actually is a lot more like freeing. And I feel like that is where a lot of my stuff came from. Like,
right.
I wasn't always happy on the outside, but it was like happy on the inside.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Like, because everything, a lot of it, your stuff, when it dissects and it opens up, it's the smiley face.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a reveal moment that I feel like is like cathartic to people. Things aren't as they seemed, or there's more emotion behind the scenes.
Holy shit, you just unlocked a memory of mine in grade school.
Let's hear it.
Where I compared myself, I was walking home and being like all gloomy on the inside. And of course, everything I do is like driven by romantic thing. And there's this girl I had a crush on. And I was like trying to be mysterious. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like a jelly-filled donut with sprinkles. I'm just sprinkles on the inside, I'm sprinkles on the outside. All happy, but you don't know what's on the inside.
That was
that was my like.
You were listening to like too much My Chemical Romance.
Dude, you better believe it. Oh Lord. So
that's the collab, right?
that's a collab.
Sprinkled donut.
Sprinkled donut.
Sprinkled jelly filled donut.
A sprinkled jelly filled donut. You open up.
Dude, that's such a, like a kid thing to think. Like you don't know what's on the inside.
It is.
I'm like a donut.
Damn. Deep. I'm so deep, bro. Okay, so collaboration. This is the thoughts. We're gonna brainstorm, kind of draw out a design together.
Yep.
I'll go to my studio and try to mimic your like the squeegee effect, and then try to figure out how to make it all work on a t-shirt just for fun, maybe.
I mean, our ideas are all circling each other, so I think it's gonna be a really easy way to like collaborate on a graphic that can then be like utilized through different methods. So like one printmaking method, one more like pure art kind of method, and then one like different. I mean, you do the rug, so we gotta make it.
We gotta make a rug. It's gonna happen.
That was what brought us together. So,
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
I'll figure something out.
Well, let's do it. Got a lot to think about. What a better place. No better place, is what I meant to say. So, honestly, Bryce and I talked for like, just like a couple hours, just like scheming up ideas for not only this collaboration, but a bunch of different like projects. So many things to think about, so many movies to watch in a bathtub. And with that, you know, I'm heading back to Utah. Crusties are my balls from sleeping. And the game plan is that Bryce and I are just gonna kind of do like a little virtual collab and just go collab. It's still early. And then I'm gonna try to recreate a lot of like his techniques with it. So that's what we'll do back in Utah. Okay, on my way. But first I had to stop at Pib's Donut because food, we love food. Get the car back to Vel and get back on a plane. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Zoop. Yeah, keys. That's it. Okay. Who gets in their car with a backpack? The car didn't get rented out, probably just because it was such a short trip, but I mean, I got free parking and a nice detail. Let's head back home now. Yep. And we're home. Time to figure out what we're gonna do with Bryce. Okay, let's go. So I don't know if you noticed, but Bryce's arm was busted. So we actually didn't really end up drawing anything, instead just talking. And so now I thought I would just like screenshot a bunch of his designs. This is the process they did that I love. And from that, I made so many of these little art prints of this little big cat. And we're gonna try out his little process of putting the ink there down. And I didn't have a squeegee, so I'm just like, let's try credit card. And it didn't really work very well. And I'm like, all right, maybe if we take a new one and try some acrylic ink. And by ink, I mean paint, but really it's just paint. Line it up, and it kind of worked, but not super well. So I tried again. And this time, instead of the credit card, I used a paintbrush, and that seemed to work really well. Figuring out, I tried again. This time I thought maybe if I like drew it out, painted each line out, that would work, but it didn't work quite as well. Thought, okay, let's just get a paintbrush, a big enough paintbrush to do all of the lines at once, and it gave me a little outline to like go back through. And this was my favorite one I made, I think. But also, all the things. Thought maybe if I just like cut up this spongy so that there's like individual little paint brushes, and they did each of the little lines for each of the little lines. Instead of dragging the paint across, it had paint to paint on it, and that was the funnest. And so I just kept on going. I made so many of these, and I'm actually going to give these away in an email. So if you're not on my email list, join the email list. I have all these that I'll be giving away, and then also I'll be sending you, if you want, some blank ones to yourself. I think I'm just gonna ask that you pay for shipping, that way it just doesn't kill me. But yeah, so on my email list, I'll send out an email so you guys can pick one of those up if you want. Now on to the rug. My buddy JMO and I, this sweetheart JMO, figured out what we were gonna do and just traced it out. If you've seen it in my rug videos, pretty standard rug. Just tufting away. It took a hot minute, but I loved this like kind of like, it's a bust. I want to say bust. Like the statuesque lady. And so I decided, when going through Bryce's Instagram and screenshotting things, I decided on this one, and then a couple other ones that kind of were themed around one, like the big cat, and also this statue lady. So we got all of the black in, and I came in with the white. I had so much space on here that I'm like, what should we do? What's the next one we do? And landed on this guy, because I feel like Bryce has so many designs that would work just like seamlessly with the pull apart rug concept. And honestly, I think I might have to do more. This might be the first of many because they're so rad. So anyways, just once again, tufting away. I can't remember how long this took. Also, this is my longest video I've ever put on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy long format. I'm loving it. Oh, also I had two guns. One was a loot pile, so I did SpongeBob's spongy with the loot pile, while JMO did cut pile on some of the details. Just super nice having him in the studio helping me out. I think I might have him help me out more and more and more, so I can just get more done and show you guys more projects. Oh, also had some space, so I'm like, let's do one more. So JMO was tufting away. I drew out this another little big cat. Big cat. Still watching Dating Related? Yes, of course. Wait, what? Is that even a question?
Is everybody dated and related now? If not, then yes.
I should have been counting the wardrobe changes. That probably would have been a good indicator of how many days that Jam and I were tufting away. But got it. Again, with this big cat, I did loop pile for the white and cut pile for the black. Got it all done. And finishing up tufting, Jamie went by with the rug glue to get all the tufting in place and dried on the back. While I finished up, I didn't do anything. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. I'm tufting still. I'm just gonna get this all done. And with it all done, put some paper down because I always spill so much rug glue on the floor when I do this. And I glued up the back. The right side was dry, so now I'm just gonna let that other side dry. So I thought I'd clean up the studio a little bit, because this is how the studio looks is usually a good indicator of what my brain's like, and it's usually pretty messy. Ugh. And I wanted to try out screen printing a shirt with this big cat design. So I have this palette and a big old screen that didn't fit, so we just went to Lowe's and got a big old pallet of wood, and that's gonna fit. The design will fit on that. So I had to screw on this little guy that's gonna hold the palette onto that arm. So did that real quick, and yeah, we're good. We're good to screen print that cat. So first thing I do is I tape off the screen so the ink only goes where I want it to go. I sprayed some spray adhesive on the palette, put down a shirt, add some ink. It was kind of thick, and so I usually just do a first pass with the screen above hovering over the shirt, and then I push it down and go over it one more time. That's a flood print, the flood stroke. It's called a flood stroke when you don't get onto the shirt. Anyways, so I didn't get all the way through, so I thought I hit it one more time and got a little bit of double image, but it should be good. Hit it with a heat gun so that it cures like well enough that I can put the screen on top without it transferring the image. And then I taped off just like a little box, again, where I don't want the ink. And so I taped it off so I could just be right in between that big cat and try to do the little like warpy effect. So again, just put ink right on those lines, and I took this, it was like a push broom extension, and it kind of worked. I thought maybe I'd add more ink and pull again, and again kind of worked. Pull from the other side kind of worked. Just added more ink on top. Just screened it right on, just squeeged it right on, and it didn't look super great. So I liquided up the ink and tried it one more time. Liquided up. I made it thinner. Yeah, I put some ink thinner in there. Didn't work so well, so I'm like, let's just try again. Clean off the screen, add another shirt. Now with the thin ink, we're gonna screen print the big cat onto the shirt, cure it a little bit, put the screen back on, retape it, and I drew where I wanted the ink to go with just a Sharpie and kind of just painted the lines on again. And it didn't really work very well, so we're gonna try again. Redo the shirt, and this time with the squeegee. I marked on the squeegee where I wanted the ink to go, and then I took that to my house, my little chop saw, and I cut the squeegee, and I cut out the places where I wanted there not to be ink. Right, so where the squeegee is, that's where it's gonna push ink through the screen and onto the shirt. That's the idea. So came here and pulled the ink and did kind of a flood print again, where I'm not on top of the screen, I'm not on top of the shirt, so that the ink doesn't get onto it, and just like kind of did like an outline, and it kind of was working. The ink was so thin it was dripping through the screen before I even pressed it down, but we're fine. We're just gonna go for it. And yeah, I think that it looks really raw but kind of cool. And there was a little gap right there on top of the cat, so I filled it in, cured it, and we're gonna try it again. And this time what I did, I put down the big cat first, cured it, and then I took the screen and just with a regular squeegee, I just flooded the entire like box and then went across with that. And I think that's my best bet, but I got a bigger screen because that little one was so difficult because it was right there on the edge, and then I got a harder squeegee. That way, like, these little parts would hopefully be able to press through better. Made sure it lined up with the image where I wanted it, and we're just going to go ahead and chop saw it once again. It's time to chop saw it in my studio, making a mess, and whoop, totally just wrecked that. So I decided I had to start over. So I just cut it there, redrew out the lines with white, and I put some wood under the rubber part of the squeegee so hopefully it wouldn't catch it and break again. So I just drew out lines where the eyes were. That way I could kind of have some sort of guide when I pull it to make it line right back up. Cool, should be good. I also put some cardboard down on the back side of the screen. This will lift up the screen a little bit so there's off contact. So the screen isn't just like sitting on it, so I can flood the image without it getting on there. And now I'll push as hard as I want, and yeah, that's it. It was a little too, like I didn't push quite as hard enough, so I tried to go back over again, and it worked. It looked a little sketchy, but I like it. And then after that, I just did a bunch more of these prints, and I didn't film them because I'm a silly bitch. But yeah, that all done. Also, I wanted to work on the rug some more, and so I needed some space, so I moved the little press, and we're going to get that over the heart print done. Same idea, just print a little big cat on there. This one actually is a little big cat. Make sure it was cure. And then flood the image and go across with the squeegee. And then to finally cure the shirt completely, I put it on a heat press, covered with paper, and it has to get to like 365 degrees for it to cure completely. That way it won't come off in the wash. But yeah, this was my favorite one. I think it turned out so well. Love, love, love. So I have like this one and a couple other ones that I'm going to be giving away at the end of the video, along with some of those art prints and those rugs. Alright, now we just got to finish these rugs. So I interrupted Marshall's band practice, cut out the rugs, and yeah, just cut them out like an inch around them. Then I just gotta, from the backside, cut it and glue all those little flaps down. So I did that on Mr. SpongeBob, on the bust, on Big Cat, and we're good to go. Oh, just kidding. We gotta shave it out. Shaved it, made sure the lines look a lot cleaner, that we can actually see what the image is. These lines were actually already looking pretty good, but I kind of just like shaved it down so it'd all be even and be like a little bit cleaner. I kind of like the rougher look of rugs, but this makes it like the design pop out, and also for the spots that might feel a little sloppy, I can come back and clean it up with this cute little razor. And by razor I mean shaver? Shaver? Rug shaver. Trim that rug. And got SpongeBob dialed in. With that, we're gonna add the string for the like warp effect. So I just sewed one on, and I'm like, that would take forever, so let's see if I can sew 4 at a time. And I did. Hardest part was getting the needle through, so I thought maybe if I punched it with like a leather punch first, I could sew it through, but that would just broke the monk's cloth. So I'm like, oh, tried and true, we'll just do some hot glue. So that's what I did, just hot glued them all down in place. This took forever, but I think also Marshall FaceTimed me during the middle of it, so that was nice. Right there, the cutie. So quick. I think I was also watching some like Hallmark Christmas movies at the time, so we're good. So I tried to get them kind of as even as possible to the strings. They weren't quite there, so Jam and I just stapled it to the wall, straightened them out as best as we can, cut them, and then once again tried to straighten them out with like a comb and my fingers. I even think I sprayed it with a water bottle at one point, and just let it comb down, and once again try to get as straight as possible. Back to the table to glue the other side to it. And this was kind of a pain because I had to get it in the same order. So I had to take it from the right side and make sure that it was like in the same order top to bottom, and then redo it so none of the strings were all like mixed matched even within like each section. But yeah, now just to clean up the back, added this little cloth, sure, to make the back look nice and clean. Trimmed up the edges, and there we go. We got ourselves a little glitch rug. Did the same thing for the bust, and got the pull part action on this rug. So now to see it. So I just pulled down my cute little white backdrop. Jameis has a fistful of yarn in his hand. I love that. And there we go. Trying to make it look a little warpy, laying it down. I was just wiggling it. The strings kind of catched. Best way I figured was to just slingshot into each other and kind of scrunch it up. There you go. And then for the lady, I got the strings to match up perfectly in length, so I could do stuff like this, and it wouldn't like get all tangled up. I did this for so long. It looks so trippy. It kind of looks trippy, yeah, but in person, wow. Okay, so let's do it again. I told you, I just kept on going. So I got to a place where I'm like, that looks kind of interesting. Right here. No, right here. Oh my, I told you. Didn't get that top piece how I wanted to look. Looks rad. And final, the pull apart guy. I added the like pink goo around SpongeBob's face from Bryce's original design, just so that the pull apart like would have something that you connect to. I feel like it's just oozing out. But yeah, really stoked with this, how this one turned out. So I'm doing 3 giveaways: a rug, a shirt, and a print. I'm doing it for all 3 of them. And there's 3 ways that you can actually sign up for the giveaway, and it's all through Avail, like that car sharing app. So one way you can sign up for Avail through my link, and I'll put that in the description and in the card. Or you can share your car through the Avail app with my link. And lastly, you could just book a car using the Avail app using my code Shmoxd50. And the cool thing about that is you also get $50 off your booking. So if you're gonna rent a car right now, this is a great time to do it. If you want to share a car, make some money, great time to do it. Or if you just want to sign up, you could win one of these giveaways. Alright, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah.